United States Sentencing Commission, which analyzes basically every criminal sentencing in the United States, has found that black people receive prison sentences 13 times longer and harsher than their white counterpart. What would be the explanation for that? Because they have those numbers even when we look at same type of crime, same type of offense, and same socioeconomic back. So what would
How
be the
many times have you
reason
committed the same crime?
they account for first time offenders as well? What would be the reason for this if not some type of inherent racism in our criminal justice system?
Of course, there's inherent racism in the criminal justice system, but
Hold
to
on,
say
hold on.
that the
Say
whole
that sentence one more
system
time.
is,
Wait. Say that sentence one more time, friend.
of course, there's inherent racism due to the country's past, but to
Okay.
say that
But wait.
the country as a whole is that
If
way,
you're
is that
saying,
way,
hold on,
it's
friend.
not true.
Friend, if you're saying that there is inherent racism within our criminal justice system, then Drake, you just described systemic racism. There is inherent racism baked into the system of criminal justice within our country. That's systemic racism.
Not in a way to where they're still making laws like Jim Crow.
Systemic racism isn't saying that there needs to be inherent laws on the book. It's saying that the systems have to use whatever tools at their disposal to oppress one racial group for the political, social, or economic benefit of another.
Boom! Ooh, got your ass.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More importantly, you saw the clip. Pseudo intellectuals. We are in a stage on social media where you see and hear a lot of pseudo intellectuals that pretty much are like sociopaths and psychopaths. They have a ideology, a belief, talking points that they regurgitate that for a fact they wouldn't say these same things if the shoe was on the other foot. But they feel like they're on the winning side of this equation. So, the way they're talking is like, well, since I'm winning, anything goes. But you don't realize, like, you're talking to a world of people that's going, okay, so if anything goes, that means anything goes. And a lot of you pseudo intellectuals, you like to play this game where I said anything goes, but that's just when I do stuff, anything goes. This actually can't be a two-way street. You get what I'm saying? It's wrong if anything goes. If you take the anything goes mentality, something is morbidly wrong. It's like, no, you've entered that part of that time period in society, and it's gonna get exceedingly worse. So, like, I saw a few things, and I'm gonna have to pause it and come back a time or two. So don't mind me, but just hear me out when I say this. Okay. Like, I was listening to a Jewish guy talk about what's going on with Israel versus Palestinians, and I think he was talking to another Jewish guy, and he was like, "Hey, man, basically what you're telling me is, October 7th happened, and everything else is justified." And he said, now, any other sense, if I came to your house and I offed your family, and you found out where I was at, and I stayed in an apartment complex, and I decided to just blow up the whole apartment complex, your ideology is like, that's fair game. I don't care if there's innocent people, innocent women and children, elderly people. No, I just blew up the whole building because, that's fair game. And that ideology, when you're the one doing it, it's like, oh yeah, that's fair. And it's like, okay, realize all the stuff that you're doing is going to get done to you by the very people you said, it was that these are the rules of engagement and this type of stuff is okay. And nobody wants to hear you go, no, where's your humanity? No, that's not going to happen. Same thing with the Javon Bradley clip. Racism doesn't exist. Systematic racism doesn't exist. But the person who's making the argument that it doesn't exist just says, "Oh well, it exists," but oops, but I'm gonna say it doesn't exist because I say so because I feel like because it looks like I'm on the 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 winning side of systematic racism, right? So it doesn't matter. So it's cool. And, I got all these excuses, and you got to understand something. You're making these excuses in these pseudo intellectual commentaries to these groups that you're actually doing, dirt to, as if like they're gonna go, okay, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. You can, for some odd reason, you when you get into these like manosphere spaces, right? You hear the same pseudo intellectualism when you hear ladies, the women talk about like family court and custody and all that, and it's like, oh, yeah, I did all this, I did all these wrong things, but hey, the rules are the rules. I could do all the wrong things and get rewarded and screw you over, and it's okay. And it's like, oh, okay, okay, remember that. And you see the same thing when you see ladies who wind up paying alimony to men, and then the world is the worst place. It's like, well, this is not how it's supposed to go. It's like, you asked for this, because now men are going to approach you the same way, with the same mentality, with the same uh, 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 it ain't disrespect, it's more than disrespect, with the same malice as you approach guys with. And you hear people justifying this over and over and over and over again. So, and for me, I'm listening, I'm like, oh, y'all really gonna get destroyed. And then we I saw something not too long, maybe a few hours ago. It was talking about Elon Musk was talking. I forgot the reporter's name. He was talking to a reporter basically about how him and President Trump implemented Doge to cut costs, and then right after he did that, basically, President Trump is going to institute a new spending budget that just, you know, made Doge a waste of time. And I say that to say this is part of the pseudo intellectualism. This, as Tariq Nasheed would say, I'm right and I say so, you know. And it's like, okay, so you right because you say so, but when you're right and you say so is the only mentality you have, and because you've been doing the wrong things for so long, and can't lie, history has shown that people have done, the wrong deeds and have got rewarded for a long time. So a lot of y'all don't realize the world has changed. Like, no, we're not doing that. And the pseudo intellectualism kicks in. Like, oh, why can't I just, be a lying, thieving, stealing manipulator who and be a bumbling idiot who just messes up stuff, but gets paid king's ransom for just messing up stuff. It's like, them days is over, and you can't wrap your head around it. Same thing when I saw I forgot who was talking about Burkina Faso, but I don't know if it was France or the U.S., but I think it was France. It's like, basically telling Burkina Faso, you're holding our gold, and it's like, and Toure has to respond. Did I say his name right? Sorry, brother, if I messed it up. He had to respond like, this ain't your goal. This is Burkina Faso's goal. I don't know, what are you thinking that makes you think that this is yours in the first place? Ain't your country, ain't your continent, ain't your goal. How do you, what is wrong with you? But it's that pseudo intellectualism, like, oh, I woke up today and your stuff in your country is my stuff because I said so. It's like, yeah, that's not how that's gonna work. You know. Then I was looking at another clip of Julius Malimba, and he was talking. And if you've paid attention to social media, if you've seen this plenty of time when they was talking about South Africans in the land, And it's basically it's like you're taking these people's land with and giving them nothing. He was like, why would I give you something for land that you stole? It's not your land. He said basically he's like, that's like you stole my car and you want me to pay you when I come take my car back. He's like, no, that's insane. But that's that mindset. And the reason I went from, things going on in the U.S. and between Israelis and Palestinians to the continent of Africa, to relationships dynamics is the same to racism in America is to the budgeting of America is because that mindset is prevalent in all of these things where it's a global mindset where you can go, oh yeah, because I feel like I'm on the winning end of this equation, all the wrong I'm doing makes a whole lot of sense. And it's like, no, it doesn't. And what happens when the world changes right in front of your face? Then what? Then it's like, oh, I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing. And just like the guy recently who walked to the bar in Mississippi, trying to call us black folks the N-word and got mopped up. And it's like, it's a hate crime. No, that's what I mean. Pseudo intellectualism. You thought it was just because I went to a bar with a bunch of black people and called them the N-word and started stuff with them doesn't mean I'm not supposed to get stomped out. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I've seen even other people with these comments online where, calling even with the white lady with the black 5-year-old, calling a black 5-year-old, the N-word, right? And then people go, well, it's okay. It's like, okay. So I'm gonna start. So when I see your little 5-year-old in the park and they're not black, I'm finna get at them. And it's like, well, it's your culture. It's the usual suspects. It doesn't. What is wrong with you people? You're uncivilized. It's like, oh, see, that's the point. All of your pseudo intellectualism, you can't wrap your head around, um, you know, people treating you the way you treat everybody in the world. And unfortunately, for a lot of y'all, that's what's about to happen because a lot of y'all have pushed the envelope so far that y'all want animosity. Y'all want, you want war to prove something. Okay, you got to understand something. Y'all want war with people who done took your best shot. You have no idea how hard these people can hit back, and it's gonna be far more than you can handle. Far more than you can handle. And I can tell that because in these conversations that I'm hearing with these pseudo intellectuals, the stupidity is just, as it was said with Dragon Ball Z, over 9,000, because you can't piece together like what you're saying is idiotic because you're so far gone in your ideology, you don't realize people are looking at you like, oh, you not only are you arrogant, but you're stupid. And which trumps the whole intellectual argument of, oh, I'm thinking on a higher plane, I'm smarter, you just can't put it together. No, people are looking like, no, you're just talking a bunch of rubbish. That's it. You're just talking a whole lot of rubbish that don't mean nothing, and people have been letting you be stupid for a long time, hiding behind whatever you've been hiding behind. Them days is over, and it might take you some time to figure out that don't nobody want to hear it. But tell me what y'all think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.